Hello everyone, Ben here and welcome back to RaceRoom. We're on the grid in Zandvoort in the Formula 3 Cup car, and this is the first time we're driving this car since the new FFB was released for RaceRoom. Really enjoying it so far. Speaking of enjoyment, if you enjoy this video, do leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the races we've got coming up. But we are now just getting ready on the grid, 5 red lights about to go on, and then we'll be underway and really hoping to try and hold on to this podium finish. Roberts and Morrison starting up ahead of us have both got very good ratings, so we might struggle to keep up with them, but we've got a good chance, I think, of maintaining at least a third place as we're underway and we're down the inside into T1. We've got Morrison on our outside. He's going to hold it around the outside. I don't really fancy making any contact so early in the race, so I'm pretty gentle through that corner. I don't fight him too hard, and we consolidate third place into the tricky left-hander here as we come round it for the first time. We've got Diaz behind us about half a second back, and it looks like we've got through unscathed, which for now is exactly what I'm looking for. Morrison is looking to attack Roberts into the right hander for the first time there. He's not really going to manage to get alongside. One of the characteristics of the Zandvoort circuit, very difficult to overtake. Not many lines through these corners. You really are in single file for quite a large part of this lap, albeit at very high speed, and the corners themselves are really exciting to navigate this Formula 3 car through. But when the opportunity arises, you really do have to go for it, and it really does depend on setting up an overtake either into this corner here, into the chicane. There's half a chance that you'll get a move done here, but more likely if you can stick close to the car up ahead, you might get a move done down into T1. That makes this corner here crucial. Not getting up onto the curbs as we just have, and thankfully as Morrison did up ahead of us as well, but instead getting a much smoother exit onto the start-finish straight. That will set you up nicely if you're very close to the car ahead to try and make a move down the inside. We're not anywhere near close enough to do that on Morrison, but we do have a decent gap back to Diaz. So all in all, quite a good first lap here in the Formula 3 car at Zandvoort. So here we go then. We'll have a little look back at the start of the race just to show you A, what a crowded field we've got, but B, how well everybody does through this first set of corners not to come into contact with one another or run wide into the gravel. Everybody being nice and sensible through this set of corners, avoiding any unnecessary damage this early in the race as we swoop around with the rest of the field into the first straight of the lap. I'm at this stage, just as I say, thinking about getting the car up to temperature, not making too many mistakes at this stage of the race. We're coming through to the back end of the lap now. You can see that the field is starting to spread out just a little bit as little battles are developing, and we're sort of in a bit of no man's land between second place and fourth place behind us, who's having to defend pretty hard Diaz from the car behind him coming into T1, and that is just buying us a little bit of time, giving us a little bit of a buffer. We rejoined the live action then about 7 minutes on, simply because we were running quite a lonely third place. Morrison and Roberts just very slowly, lap by lap, were eking out the gap so that they're now 4 seconds and 5 seconds further up the road. We managed to build a reasonable gap to Diaz of around 1.5 seconds, but over the last couple of laps he's just reeled us in a little bit as well. So as we rejoin, he's about 0.6 of a second behind us, and Farrell is another couple of seconds back from him. So starting to feel the pressure a little bit from Diaz. He hasn't got close enough yet to make a move as we come down then into the chicane. He looms very large in our rear view mirror, and to be honest with you, that just takes my eye slightly. We run wide on the exit of the corner and we've just got 2 tyres up on the grass, and that is enough to spin this car around, and all of a sudden we've gone from a very comfortable third position to being passed by 3 drivers. We're down in 6th as Ducanoir just got past us there as we were rejoining, and that is so disappointing. Half race distance, we were absolutely looking solid for a podium finish, and now we've got it all to do, and I just have to recompose myself, and we're already squeezing up onto the back of Ducanoir in 5th place. So hopefully we're going to be able to try and make back some of the positions we've just lost. So that just goes to show how quickly a race can change, even if you're feeling pretty confident and pretty comfortable. Let's take a look back at how it played out. So Diaz there, you don't really get a shot of it on this replay cam, did close right in on us in the braking zone. I took my eye off the apex of the corner and it just meant that we ran slightly wide. We caught 2 tyres and that was enough to send the car around, and look at how aggressively Ducanoir comes back across to take the racing line. It's fair enough, I suppose. He wanted to get the move done, and he certainly made sure that he did that. But we're back then on the same lap that we just cut away from. Towards the end of it, we managed to keep the gap to the car up ahead in 5th place, nice and tight, so we just might get a run on him as we come out of the final corner here. We're going to try and keep quite a nice tight apex. He manages to as well, but we should be in the draft as we come through the final right-hander, which is flat out in these cars, not so much in other cars, but in the Formula 3 you can get through that corner absolutely flat out. We're closing in here. We should just about have the room to get down into the first corner, and we make a slight bit of contact. It feels like it was probably tyres to tyres, and we're able then to get around with both cars intact. We get into the next corner and he's trying to fight us straight back. There's another little bit of contact, but hopefully no damage done. We then get through the left-hander and we manage to bully our way through, hopefully without overstepping the mark. We did come from a little way back, but like I was saying earlier, it's such a difficult track to overtake on. You really do have to try and commit to moves. I think he saw us coming, and we managed to get the car slowed down, and though there was a little bit of contact and we did pick up some incident points, it wasn't reckless or out of control. We've picked up a little bit of suspension damage. You can see that in the bottom right hand corner of the screen if we just about keep control of the car there. And actually we've gone wide. I do prefer a wide entry into this left-hander, but not that wide, and that is going to give Ducanoir a chance alongside us. In fact, he's nudged ahead as we're running side by side now down into the chicane. We've got the inside line though. We're going to get the car slowed down, try and take the apex, which we do. That's going to give him nowhere to go, so we're able to recover and just about hold on to the position. You can see it there, he finding traction difficult to find in our rear view mirror, but we're wide on the final corner. We're riding the curve. That's going to give him a much better exit. You can see he's filled our rear view mirror there again, as he's going to be all over the back of our car. We're going to just stick to the racing line, show him to the inside, so he's going to make this move now. We know that into the braking zone, so I'm going to deliberately take a wide line through this corner, try and hold it around the outside, so I'll have the inside to the start of the next complex. He gives me plenty of space, fair play to him for that, but he's going to have the inside line for the next corner as we enter a yellow flag, so we nearly make another big bit of contact there as well, as he just squeezes past us and he's got the position back from us. We only held 5th place for about a lap, so this is going to be difficult. I was really hoping we'd be able to consolidate that position, but we haven't been able to do it. Here's then a replay of that action. It's us attacking here down the inside. We make a tiny bit of contact as our tyres scrape against one another, but we've got that move done through the first corner. We retake the racing line. He's going to have a little go back at us through this right-hander, but he's just not close enough to make that move stick, and we're able to hold the position. But it wouldn't last as things play out. Here we go then towards the first corner once again from the helicam. You can see us making that move, a little bit of contact on the inside of the corner, but ultimately we're able to get through, and you can see he's trying to take that inside apex again. There's another tiny bit of contact, but actually nothing too bad, and we were able to get through the corner, both of us there. On to the end of this lap though, and here we are running wide. We're the lead car at this stage. He sneaks down our inside, but we're going to get a slightly better exit to try and hold this position down the inside into the chicane. We're going to need to get on the brakes late, which we do, but we're able to make the apex. He then has to back out of it at this stage, so we do still have the high ground in this battle. He nearly loses the rear end as we had done just a couple of laps earlier, but unfortunately we throw that high ground away by getting up on the curb, the sparks flying there, and that's going to give him the impetus coming out of the final corner to get into our draft and then pull to the inside at the end of the start finish straight and make the return move move on us that we had made just one lap earlier. Down the inside he goes. We give him plenty of room. We're not going to try and pinch him to the apex because I want the exit to be as clean as possible to give us the drive out of the corner, but it isn't enough. He's going to have the inside line into the next corner, so we've got to give him space. There's another little bit of tyre rubbing, but nothing too bad, and unfortunately he's managed to squeeze back past us, and it's going to be a real challenge to get this 5th place back. We rejoin them with just a minute left to go in the race. That means there's going to be the end of this lap and then one more racing lap to go before the checkered flag comes out. We're still in 6th place, but Ducanois is still only half a second ahead. So I've got to now turn the pressure up. Will he run wide then, coming onto the start-finish straight? Yes, he does. He's got up on that curb, so this is going to give us a chance down into T1 for the final time. So I'm going to tuck nicely into his draft. He's going to weave a little bit down this start-finish straight to try and break the toe. That's fair enough because we're not in the braking zone just yet. We're going to pull into the braking zone and try and get late on the brakes, which we do. We're down the inside. He sees that move coming though, and he's gone for the switchback. So he's now back alongside us on the outside. That's going to give him the advantage into the uphill right-hander here. We have to get out of it. And I'm going to hope that he gets his braking wrong into this left-hander, but he doesn't. He covers off the corner nicely. We try to cut back underneath him, but there just isn't room. There's a back marker having all sorts of difficulty on our left-hand side there, but thankfully he stays out of the way, and unfortunately he's held onto the position again. But this is just fantastic racing in these F3 cars at Zandvoort. They come with so much downforce that you can have confidence in pushing the car through these corners, and that's exactly what we're both doing at this point of the race. Get the braking right then into this right-hander, just get onto the apex there. What I'm going to try and do here then is take my wide line, get it right and get on the gas as early as I can. He's narrow on the apex here, so we should have a better exit out of the corner. I've got one more chance now to get this move done. It's going to be into the chicane before the end of the race. Here we go then, we're alongside, we're going to get late on the brakes, but make the apex of the corner just. We lock up, we're side by side here. He's on the inside, but he gets a little bit up on the curbs by the looks of it, and that is going to give us the clean run out of the corner, and we've made it up into 5th position with just 2 corners left to go, the right-hander and then the late apex final corner, which we're just coming around now. We've got the gap back to Ducanois up to about a second. 5th position is going to be ours, but wow, what a battle in order to take that position. Fair play to him. Really good racing, hard racing, don't get me wrong, but at no stage did I feel like that was going to be an unfair battle or something that was out of control. Here then are the highlights from that final lap. You can see Ducanois gets up on the curb. That's going to give me the chance I want down into the first corner for the final time. He's trying to break the toe, but we're going to stick with him. Then into the braking zone, he sticks nice and straight. That's good fair racing. We're able to get down the inside, but he sees me coming. He's going to try and switch back, which he manages to do. He gets the better exit from the corner as a result of having done that, and he's able to take the high ground into the next corner. Not a lot I can do about this at this stage. I'm relying on him making a mistake, and he doesn't do it. There just isn't room to get down his inside on the exit of that corner, and we both pass the stricken back marker. But I would get one more chance, and it was into the chicane at the end of the lap. There I am, making the braking zone just in time, locking up the brakes but keeping control of the car. He gets a little bit beached on the inside curb, and that was enough to get the move done. Here it is from the helicam. You can see there he just gets up onto the big sausage curb, and that's going to slow him down on exit, and it means we're able again to force our way through. Here's the classified results then. We threw away the chance of a podium, but ultimately on our pace, somewhere between 3rd and 5th was probably about fair enough, and it was such an enjoyable race. Definitely encourage you to give this combination a try this week, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the race. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.